Well, today the riders come home to France. But of course, we have had many emails telling us how much you've all enjoyed the opening days of this race in London and Canterbury. Well, a few facts and figures for you, because can you believe that between the Friday and the weekend of racing, about 3.25 million people turned out to watch those events down there. And also the police, well, they're saying it was tremendously successful because, in fact, despite nearly 2 million spectators on the road to Canterbury, there wasn't a single arrest. Now, that's how a sporting event should be run. And, you know, 1,700 marshals and police along the route. And indeed, there were some 1,300 road junctions to be covered as well. My own experiences, Paul, was the police did a fantastic job. They were extremely polite, and so too were the marshals. A lot of attention to detail to make it what has been recorded, really, as one of the most successful ever starts for the Tour de France. And you might like to know, too, that many of the riders are saying they'd never before raced in front of so many people. In a short word, it was fantastic. All right, let's go on. Barry Shepherd from the North Lancs Road Club, Paul. Can you tell us what kind of training these super athletes put themselves through in order to ride at over 30 miles an hour? You rode the Tour several times. Tell us.
Well, if you want an answer in about 30 seconds, very difficult. But basically, these riders have to participate in about 30,000 kilometers riding every year. But to get the speed, that's specialist training, that's high-end training. They train to get the speed up to 30 miles an hour over small interval training sessions that they do where they'll ride at 30 or 40 seconds at high-end speed. And they hope that will build up on the building block of all of the work that they need to do over the whole of the year.
Interval training puts the edge on your speed. All right. Going on to Peter Dean from Newcastle upon Tyne. Can you explain, Paul, how the riders' numbering system works?
Well, in theory, the way the numbering system works is any rider who has a number 1 on his back, either 1, 11, 21 or 31, for example, is normally designated as the team leader.
All right, well, let me also explain. There's no number 1 in the Tour de France this year because of that situation with Floyd Landis. The judges deciding they would start at number 11. Now, number 11 normally would be worn by the rider who finished second in the Tour de France, and that's why Oscar Pereiro is wearing number 11. All right, well, it's time to get back to the action.
Stage 3 took the race back onto French tarmac for good, give or take a Spanish border crossing once we hit the Pyrenees, and it was the longest stage of the whole tour, 236 kilometres from Balaguem to Compiegne. Along the way, David Miller slipped out of the polka dot jersey, possibly an aesthetic decision as much as a racing one, and a break formed as it does every day. But as the race closed in on the finish line, it looked for once as though the chasing pack may have mistimed the catch.
The only way the main field are going to catch him if those guys start playing that tactical manoeuvring of slowing down and waiting to see if they can save a little bit of energy on the charge to the line, because the main field won't. Willems has gone again. It was 20 seconds at 2 kilometers to go. Willems has got the strength, but he can't get rid of the Frenchmen, and they are like sandbags to him. He wants to throw them out and float to victory.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Stéphane Ogier wins this stage, he only has to win by 18 seconds, and he'll be the yellow jersey of the race as well. And we're getting very close to the finish now. We're not there yet. We're racing down through the banks of the River Seine through Compiègne. We swing away. It might be against the riders. It is slightly uphill over the cobblestones.
Couple of nasty corners as we come up towards the finish line. They're starting to panic now. They're looking over their shoulders. They know the main field will not give up. There's the main field. It's looking at about 200 meters. They're not too far now. They're going to start to line up. They're not far away from the Flamme Rouge, and then the long straight to the finish line. This is very dangerous for these guys, but it's more dangerous for the men behind. There's the kite.
And these are the peloton here. They're on the cobblestones. They may totally have misjudged this today. A brilliant move. Those two riders strengthened by 2 more. If they win, they've been in the lead for 231 kilometers, and the peloton pass under the Flamme Rouge. We will quickly switch to the leaders.
Well, you can see now on the front, Lampre, everyone's panicking. The leading group of 4 riders, they've absolutely started to mess around. Somebody now has to take the responsibility, but Fabien Cancellara...
I do not believe this. The strength of the race leader has gone after them himself to save his yellow jersey from Ogier, and Cancellara has taken off. There's confusion behind. quick steps at when is Tom Bonan going to make his move? Is Mark Cavendish right on the front there? These boys, Vaughan, he looks over, they're going to give it to the yellow jersey. This is going to be a huge present. What a ride by Cancellara. He suddenly sensed he can win the stage from absolutely nowhere. They've wiped them out on the line of the stage of the Tour de France. 400 metres, 300 metres. Cancellara, the strong man of the time trial, has ridden them off his wheel. He is going to come up to the line here now. The move behind as Robbie McEwen kicks. McEwen and Robbie Hunter. Hunter now Bonan on the left. Cancellara, Zabel's on Cancellara's wheel. And it looks as though we've got Cancellara, Zabel on the line. Napolitano, Bonan. They all got beaten by the yellow jersey. That'll serve them right.
Well, it was a great ride on day one in London by Fabian Cancellara to take the yellow jersey, but perhaps an even better one in the yellow jersey. And the 20-second bonus it earned him pushed his lead over Andreas Klöden up over half a minute. Otherwise, no real change at the top.